Hey, welcome to the Gene Pool. My name is Joshua Marcengill, and that's a funny name, but what we're talking about, I definitely want to take really seriously with you all. We want to kind of develop a place where you can grab some great leadership tools, and that each one of these videos would help build momentum in your sphere of influence, whether you're actually doing a small group or if it's a volunteer team or any other scenario where you're leading at Blue Gene. We love for people to lead, because what is it going to do? It's actually going to do what we've decided to do at Blue Gene, which is reach our community. So in order to reach our community, the church has to be able to go into the world, and so and not just be behind the walls of the church, which is a beautiful place to be and get equipped. But why are we getting equipped? So that we can make an impact in the world around us. And the Bible talks about spheres of influence. So each of us has a sphere of influence, and like I said, whether you're leading in a group or it's just where you go to work and the people that you end up leading there. Hey, if no one's following you, you're not a leader. But if anyone's following you, even this little creature right here who follows me around all the time, if anybody follows you, then you are a leader. Congratulations. So people are tough, and so they can create massive challenges, and so it's important for us to have in our back pocket like a commitment to forgiveness, right? So forgiveness can be a very, very helpful kind of daily experience. Go into your closet with the Lord and ask, is there anyone I'm holding an offense against? And if a picture comes to your mind or a name or anything like that, say, I forgive so-and-so for this, and this. And name out the things that you forgive them for, release them from any hold that you've had on them, and release yourself in any way that you need to do that, and then bless them. And all that is very important. It's a nice little momentous kind of experience. Sometimes it's really hard, but the thing is, it's really important it's important to remember that forgiveness isn't justice. God says that vengeance is His, and so anyway, He's got the whole judgment and justice stuff sorted out for us. It's really not the point of being a Christian. The point of being a Christian is to love. So I hope that frees you up and kind of helps you offer forgiveness wherever it's needed in your sphere of influence. There's a few different reasons where, different things that kind of bring up offense, and they all have to do with fear. I'll kind of skip to the chase there, but I'm going to read some behaviors that scare us, So behaviors that scare us because it raises suspicions create offenses. So if we're suspicious about somebody's motives, or there's just something that we don't know, then we can create an offense from that, and we can actually kind of halt whatever God's doing in our world, in our sphere, right? So it's important that we kind of get in there and try to find out where that fear is really coming from, because that fear has a root somewhere, and it could be in us, and sometimes there's way more to the story, so I'm simplifying. The second behavior, there's a behavior that scares, the other person's behavior that scares us because it's so different than what we would do. This is a big one. A lot of times we'll just, I've been in places where I've had some weird expectation of someone, and not even understood myself that I had the expectation, but because I had a similar relationship in a different world or sphere, this person ended up being so much like something that I was used to that I decided that they should perform in the same way. Well, that set me up for failure and disappointment very effectively. So not a good idea. And then 3, behavior that scares and hurts us because it is legitimately offensive. Sometimes, we do run into legitimately offensive people. Maybe they're actually trying to be offensive, and all that kind of stuff. And so the offense is real. well, what are you going to do with a real offense, you know? So yeah, sometimes we're kind of just in our head, but sometimes people are very genuinely offensive. And you know, yes, you can look at their motives, you can ask them questions. You should always approach a person about something to try to clarify and make sure that there's not just a simple miscommunication. So often that's what it is. Just too often to ignore that could be what it is. A lot of times we're just not thinking what the other person's thinking. But that doesn't mean that you can't offer forgiveness. Never does it mean that you can't offer forgiveness. And the interesting thing about forgiveness is that on the other side of it, we will begin to be able to see a person differently. So every single person, we have this option. We can see we can see coal, or we can see the diamonds, and in order to see the diamonds, we have to kind of be willing to reach in and grab stuff, that's not necessarily right on the surface. So, and it's actually a call to prophecy. I pray that all would prophesy, but not without love. So listen, there's a river of love pouring over every person. This is just something that's kind of a Josh idea. I'm sure other people have it, but I'm just saying, it's helpful for me to think of God loves every person I'll ever meet. And that means there's a river of his love and joy and righteousness pouring out for that person. They may not be aware of it, and usually they are not. But if I tap into that, and I'm welcome to do that as a son and daughter, then I can lead that person to a better understanding of who God says they are from a prophetic perspective. Isn't that awesome? So listen, forgiveness can give you an opportunity to see people differently. See them through God's eyes. Hey, ask for it if that's a great idea, or it could just help you to kind of give them another chance, or Jesus says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. So it's important to have boundaries too. And so when is it appropriate to kind of remove someone from your sphere? Well, believe me, it does become appropriate sometimes. So we need to be willing to have a protection commitment, protection for two things, for the permission that God has given us and the power that God has given us. So if we feel like there's something coming in to attack our peace, because we have both permission and power to create peace, and leave it in a place and in our sphere. So if something's coming in to attack that, then it needs to be addressed, and that is great leadership. Hey, welcome to the Gene Pool. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, we really want to hear those, and there's several people that could answer and kind of respond.